Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission will give a fillip to healthcare services across the country, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the services of BJP workers in nation building. Government has a zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism, asserts Home Minister Amit Shah. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia virtually flags off first direct flight on Shillong-Dibrugarh route under the UDAN scheme. More than 102 crore 96 lakh vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. First ever bilateral tri-service exercise between India and the British Armed Forces begins off the Konkan coast in Arabian Sea. Vigilance Awareness Week been observed across the country. And in cricket, South Africa to take on West Indies in Dubai, while Pakistan to clash with New Zealand at Sharjah. As India created history by administering 100 crore doses of vaccine against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers, and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing. Focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia today said the Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission will help in the fight against pandemic-like situation in the future. He said COVID-19 has given an opportunity to improve the health infrastructure in the country, and the government has launched PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission with an investment of 64,000 crore rupees.
कोविड क्राइसिस ने हमें SWOT एनालिसिस करने के लिए अवसर दिया। भविष्य में कोई भी पैंडेमिक आए तो हम उसका सामना कर सके, इसलिए आयुष्मान भारत हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मिशन जन्म हुआ है। 64,000 करोड़ रुपीस इस योजना पर खर्च किया जाएगा और उसमें टारगेट सेक्टर है ब्लॉक, डिस्ट्रिक्ट और नेशनल। सभी लेवल पर अच्छी लेबोरेटरी हो और डायग्नोसिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर हो और जहां ऑल टाइप ऑफ रिपोर्ट मिल सके उसकी फैसिलिटी हो। एक इतनी महत्वपूर्ण योजना है जिसके तहत अगले 5 साल में एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 90 करोड़ से 100 करोड़ रुपए का खर्च एवरेज किया जाएगा। इससे अगले दिनों में आने वाली कोई भी पैंडेमिक में हमें लड़ने के लिए देश को सक्षम बनाएगा।
The minister said for treatment of diseases like cancer and diabetes and check-up at primary level, the government took a decision to set up 1.5 lakh health and wellness centers. About 79,000 such centers have started in the country.
हर 4-5 गांव के बीच में देश के नागरिक को ट्रीटमेंट मिले, उसको प्राइमरी हेल्थ चेकअप हो जाए, डायबिटिक पेशेंट की जांच, बीपी, सर्वाइकल कैंसर, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर, ओरल कैंसर, इस सभी की प्राइमरी लेवल पर जो चेकअप हो जाए तो हम नागरिक को बचा सकते हैं। और इसलिए हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस सेंटर देश में 1,50,000 बनाने का निर्णय किया। आज शायद 79,000 से अबव हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस सेंटर प्रारंभ हो चुका है। उससे आगे डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मजबूत हो, नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन के तहत उसको सपोर्ट किया गया।
Under the PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission, an entire ecosystem for services from treatment to critical research will be created in every corner of the country. The aim is to strengthen the critical healthcare network from village to block to the district to the regional and national level in the next 4 to 5 years. Under the scheme, health and wellness centers will be opened in villages and cities where there will be facilities for early detection of diseases. Facilities like free medical consultation, free tests, free medicine will be available in these centers. For serious illness, 35,000 new critical care related beds have been added in 600 districts and referral facilities will be given in 125 districts.
Over 102 crore 96 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. A total of 12,428 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours, which is lowest in 238 days. The recovery rate stands at 98.19%. Over 15,950 recoveries in the last 24 hours have increased the total recoveries to 3 crore 35 lakh 83,318. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases. India's active caseload stands at 1 lakh 63,816. More than 60 crore 19 lakh total tests have been conducted across the country so far. That more than 107 crore 22 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. Health Ministry today said that more than 12 crore 37 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered.
In an exclusive interview to AIR News, Dr. Srinath Reddy said that Russia and Britain are witnessing the re-emergence of COVID as they vaccinated the population much before the spread of the Delta variant, and the immunity gained became ineffective against the new variant.
ब्रिटेन, रशिया में जो वैक्सीन जो पहले लग चुके हैं डेल्टा वेरिएंट का प्रवेश के पहले, वो वैक्सीन से जो इम्यूनिटी बना था वो कुछ महीनों में कुछ कम हो गया, और जब डेल्टा वेरिएंट का प्रवेश उन देशों में हुआ, जो इम्यूनिटी था वो डेल्टा वेरिएंट के सामने उतना शक्तिशाली नहीं रहा। मगर हमारे यहाँ पे थोड़ा वैक्सीन की वजह से, थोड़ा इन्फेक्शन की वजह से ये डेल्टा वेरिएंट के प्रति काफी लोगों को इम्यूनिटी मिल चुका है। हालांकि हमें अभी भी सावधानी बरतना चाहिए। जितने ज्यादा लोग वैक्सीन लेंगे उससे सभी लोगों का फायदा होता है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said the reason why BJP got the opportunity to serve across several states and at the centre is the stellar role played by party workers. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said, generations of party workers have devoted their lives to the party and nation building. He said the Namo app has a very interesting section known as Kamal Pushp, through which one can learn about the inspiring party Karyakartas from the Jan Sangh days to the present who toil to popularize party ideology. He asked people to contribute and enrich this section.
Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the government is aimed at wiping out terrorism from Jammu and Kashmir and put an end to civilian killings completely, and maintained that nobody would be allowed to disrupt peace and the process of development taking place in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which has a special place in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's heart.
आज पत्थरबाजी की घटनाओं में भी बहुत कमी आई, मगर मैं आज आपको कहना चाहता हूं कि इससे हमें संतुष्ट होने की जरूरत है। आतंकवाद के प्रति इसके विरोध में नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार की जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति है, हम इसको सहन ही नहीं करेंगे। ये मानवता के खिलाफ, और जो लोग इस गतिविधि में लिप्त हैं वो जघन्य कृत्य कर रहे हैं, और उससे आम जनता को बचाना, कश्मीर को बचाना और उनको सुरक्षित रखना हमारी प्राथमिकता होनी चाहिए।
Mr. Shah added that Modi government has a zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism as it is against humanity. The Home Minister addressed the Sainik Sammelan and also paid his rich tributes to the CRPF Jawans who sacrificed and laid down their lives for the nation and attained martyrdom in the terror attack in 2019. The Union Minister, on the last day of his visit yesterday, after extending his visit, stayed for the night at the CRPF campus at Lethpora in Pulwama, where a suicide car bomber of Pakistan-sponsored terrorists had attacked a CRPF convoy and left 40 paramilitary personnel martyred in February 2019. The Union Home Minister was on a 3-day visit to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the first time since the abrogation of Article 370 on the 5th of August in 2019, when the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated into 2 Union Territories of Ladakh and J&K. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the accession day of J&K with India is being celebrated today across the Union Territory. Our correspondent reports that the accession day carries great significance, as it was on this day when the then Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, signed the instrument of accession to become a part of the greatest democracy of the world. Several functions are being organized to mark the day.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the martyrdom day of Brigadier Rajendra Singh Jamwal, popularly known as the Saviour of Kashmir, has been celebrated in a big way today. Our correspondent reports that several functions have been organized to pay tributes to the martyr. The main function has been held at Brigadier Rajendra Singh Chowk behind the Civil Secretariat in Jammu. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 5 civilians were injured in an explosion in North Kashmir's Bandipora district this morning. Official sources said that the low-intensity explosion took place in Sumbol area, which left around 5 people injured. The injured have been shifted to Srinagar Hospital for specialized treatment after receiving immediate medical assistance at the Community Health Center, CHC, in Sumbol. Meanwhile, police teams have rushed to the spot for investigation. More details are waited.
Central Vigilance Commissioner Suresh Patel today administered Integrity Pledge to Central Vigilance Commission CVC officials and employees. The pledge reads that corruption has been one of the major obstacles to economic, political and social progress of the country. Mr. Patel administered pledge that all stakeholders such as government, citizens and private sector need to work together to eradicate corruption. He administered that every citizen should be vigilant and commit to higher standards of honesty and integrity at all times and support the fight against corruption. The CVC is observing Vigilance Awareness Week with the theme Independent India at 75, Self-Reliance with Integrity.
प्रत्येक नागरिक को सतर्क होना चाहिए तथा उसे सदैव ईमानदारी तथा सत्यनिष्ठा के उच्चतम मानकों के प्रति वचनबद्ध होना चाहिए तथा भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध संघर्ष में साथ देना चाहिए.
President Ram Nath Kovind today expressed happiness that India as a nation, has a long and well-established tradition of integrity and ethics. In a message on the Vigilance Awareness Week being observed by Central Vigilance Commission, Mr. Kovind said, "It is the responsibility of all citizens to reaffirm these ideals." Mr. Kovind said, "It is the duty of all the citizens to be vigilant and combat corruption in every sphere of life." In a message, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu expressed hope to see all citizens and stakeholders collectively participate in large numbers in the fight against corruption. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his greetings to all those associated with the organization of Vigilance Awareness Week starting today. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission will give a fillip to healthcare services across the country, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the services of BJP workers in nation building. Government has a zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism, asserts Home Minister Amit Shah. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia virtually flags off first direct flight on Shillong-Dibrugarh route under the Udan scheme. More than 102 crore 96 lakh vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. First ever bilateral tri-service exercise between Indian and British armed forces begins off the Konkan coast in Arabian Sea. Vigilance Awareness Week being observed across the country. And in cricket, South Africa to take on West Indies in Dubai, while Pakistan to clash with New Zealand at Sharjah. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
Welcome back. You're listening to the Midday News. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia today virtually flagged off the first direct flight on the Shillong-Dibrugarh route under the Regional Connectivity Scheme, Ure Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, RCS Uran. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Scindia said, Shillong is one of the highest and the wettest places in the world, and the place is important not only for the country, but for the entire world. He said in 2014, only 6 airports were operational in Northeast, which has now risen to 15 airports. He added that the centre is further committed to enhancing the interstate and interstate connectivity of Northeast. Apart from promoting flight connectivity, the government's focus is on developing the infrastructure capabilities along with helicopter services for the last mile delivery. To ensure that, it has recently launched the helicopter policy to further promote heli services in Northeast. The sea phase of the maiden bilateral tri-service exercise Konkan Shakti 2021 between the UK and the Indian Armed Forces commenced off the Konkan coast in the Arabian Sea. All participating units are split into 2 opposing forces with the aim of achieving sea control to land army ground troops at a pre-designated site. One force was led by the flag officer commanding Western Fleet and comprised the flagship INS Chennai, other warships of the Indian Navy, and HMS Richmond, the Royal Navy's Type 23 frigate. The other force operated under the UK Carrier Strike Group, comprising aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth, other UK and the Netherlands naval ships and Indian warships.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th of August and will continue till 15th August 2022. Now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On 26th October 1947, Jammu and Kashmir acceded to the Union of India after Maharaja Hari Singh signed the Instrument of Accession, which was accepted by India's last Governor-General, Lord Mountbatten, on 27th October. Early in the morning on 27th October, the Indian Army's 1st Sikh Battalion was airdropped in Srinagar, where they resisted the tribal invasion supported by Pakistan.
As the tribal invaders captured Uri and Baramulla with minimal resistance from the Maharaja's forces, the fall of Srinagar looked imminent. On 24th October, Maharaja Hari Singh appealed to India for military assistance to stop the aggression. The request was considered on 25th October 1947 in a meeting of India's Defence Committee headed by Lord Mountbatten. The committee comprised Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Baldev Singh, Gopalaswamy Iyengar and the British Commanders-in-Chief of the Army, the Air Force and the Navy. The committee concluded that the most immediate necessity was to rush arms and ammunition already requested by the Kashmir government.
The Defence Committee sent VP Menon, Secretary of the Ministry of the States, to Srinagar to make an on-the-spot study the same day. He returned to New Delhi the next day with his impressions and suggested sending troops to Kashmir, pointing out the supreme necessity to save Kashmir from raiders. Menon was then flown to Jammu to advise the Maharaja about the government's view, and that's when the Maharaja finally signed the instrument of accession on 26th October. The day is celebrated as Accession Day.
26th of October is the birth anniversary of the legendary freedom fighter and eminent journalist Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi. He was born on the 26th of October 1890 at Attar Suya in Prayagraj district of Uttar Pradesh. After finishing school, Vidyarthi enrolled at Kayast Pathshala College but was unable to graduate since he had to support his family of humble means. He went on to become a clerk, but his real passion lay in journalism. Later on, he began writing for Karma Yogi, the publication founded by Pandit Sundarlal, a leader of the revolutionary Ghadar movement. At the age of 23, Vidyarthi, however, quit the publication and moved to Kanpur, where he started his own Hindi weekly, Pratap, in 1920.
The same year, he was sentenced to 2 years' rigorous imprisonment for championing the cause of peasants of Rai Bareli. He was released in 1922 but was immediately sent to jail again for allegedly delivering a seditious speech at Fatehgarh. He wrote extensively not only about the freedom struggle but also about social inequality in the society.
Vidyarthi also used journalism to develop critical thinking among the masses. He was a champion of communal harmony and played a leading role in forming an organization called Hindustani Biradari. It organized programs on communal harmony and joint celebrations of various festivals. Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi was a member of the Indian National Congress and an ardent follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Over time, he became an influential leader during the non-cooperation movement. He took a leading role in the Home Rule movement of 1917-18 and led the first strike of textile workers in Kanpur.
Immediately after the execution of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, a riot broke out in Kanpur. Called the Lion of Kanpur, Vidyarthi took upon himself to calm communal passion, running high and stop rioting. Unfortunately, he was killed in the riots on 25th March 1931, 2 days after the hanging of the 3 revolutionaries. Paying tribute to Vidyarthi, President Ramnath Kovind said he sacrificed his life to douse the flames of hatred during communal violence.
In pursuance of his dream of a strong and united India, he sacrificed his life for peace and non-violence like a true disciple of Mahatma Gandhi.
Mourning the loss of Vidyarthi, who was merely 40 years of age at the time of his death, Mahatma Gandhi wrote in The Young India, "The death of Vidyarthi was one to be envied by all."
In memory of the celebrated journalist, the Government of India instituted the prestigious Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi Award to recognize outstanding contribution in the field of Hindi journalism. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
With a view to celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and to promote culture of innovation among youth, Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI, is conducting Aadhaar Hackathon 2021. It will be held from 28th to 31st of this month. The hackathon is getting enthusiastic response. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that innovation is not merely a word or an event, it is an ongoing process. Aadhaar Hackathon 2021 will enhance the experience of the residents and the way they interface with enrollment and authentication software platforms through technological innovations.
Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav has said that it is now or never for concrete global actions to address climate change. He was speaking at the Middle East Green Initiative Summit 2021 in Riyadh. He underlined the need to consider stage of development, historical responsibility, equity, national circumstances and priorities, common but differentiated responsibilities, and respective capacities to address the challenges of climate change. The most critical climate change conference since the Paris Agreement, the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the parties COP26, is to be hosted by the United Kingdom in Glasgow from the 31st of October to the 12th of November. A report.
The annual conference of parties COP drives ambitious action on the priorities from governments as well as businesses and civil society organizations. COP26 is a conference where the world is coming together to assess progress towards limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees, in addition to strengthening climate action across the public and private sector. At COP26, public, social and private sector leaders will unite to seek solutions. Climate finance refers to local, national or transnational financing drawn from public, private and alternative sources of financing that seeks to support mitigation and adaptation actions that will address climate change. The Convention, the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement call for financial assistance from parties with more financial resources to those that are less endowed and more vulnerable. The Paris Agreement reaffirms the obligations of developed countries while for the first time also encouraging voluntary contributions by other parties. Such mobilization of climate finance should represent a progression beyond previous efforts. It is important for all governments and stakeholders to understand and assess the financial needs of developing countries as well as to understand how these financial resources can be mobilized. Provision of resources should also aim to achieve a balance between adaptation and mitigation. Ravi Kumar, AR News, Delhi.
In cricket, South Africa will take on West Indies at 3:30 p.m. in Dubai, while Pakistan will play against New Zealand at 7:30 p.m. at Sharjah. All India Radio is broadcasting ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup matches. Afghanistan thrashed Scotland by 130 runs in their debut match of the T20 World Cup in Sharjah last night. Opting to bat first after winning the toss, Afghanistan posted a score of 190 runs for 4 wickets with the help of Najibullah Jadran's 59.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature is 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be 29 degrees. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be 33 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature is 24 degrees Celsius, while the upper limit is expected to be 32 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. The city had a minimum temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. In Hyderabad, the temperature will hover between 18 and 31 degrees Celsius, with partly cloudy sky with haze. Bangalore will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. Temperature will fluctuate between 19 and 29 degrees Celsius. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature is 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Imphal will witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of thunder and lightning. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission will give a fillip to healthcare services across the country, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the services of BJP workers in nation building. Government has a zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism, asserts Home Minister Amit Shah. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia virtually flags off first direct flight on Shillong-Dibrugarh route under the UDAN scheme. More than 102 crore 96 lakh vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. First ever bilateral tri-service exercise between India and British Armed Forces begins off the Konkan coast in Arabian Sea. Vigilance Awareness Week been observed across the country. And in cricket, South Africa to take on West Indies in Dubai, while Pakistan to clash with New Zealand at Sharjah. And with that we end the Midday News.